Hey everybody, this is Strategywizard again. Today I'm going to be doing another video talking about a game that I really enjoy, which is BattleCon, War of Indines, Devastation of Indines, Fate of Indines, you name it. If it's got Indines in it, it's probably a BattleCon game, and I really enjoy it. You can check my review out, which I did a little bit ago, and it's just a game I thoroughly enjoy on so many levels. I feel like the way it simulates the 2D fighting video game genre is so perfectly done, where you simultaneously choose your cards and you're trying to anticipate what your opponent's going to do, try to do the best thing you can do at the same time by combining two cards together to make your attack. Lots of cool stuff going on. Really love it. And there's so many different combinations of, because you have tons of characters to choose from if you have all of the different editions, and even Devastation alone comes with so many. And, you know, the different other add-ons you can do. You can have the arenas that change the game, and you can do all of these other wonderful things. Solo mode, boss mode, you name it. So I really enjoy it. But there are some people who don't like it. This one surprises me. I'm not sure why you wouldn't like this game, but we're going to go to BoardGameGeek.com. We're going to look and see what some of these people that don't like it, what their reasons are. And again, I just want to remind everybody, this is in fun. It's, you know, for your humor, good humor and laughs, and hopefully also to help you understand why some people don't like it. And maybe that'll help balance out my rave review. And, you know, Jared, I did the review with my cousin Jared, and of course he really liked it. So you can balance what we said against what these people say, and maybe it'll give you a more thorough and complete picture. But I can tell you right now, I don't think there's anything anyone could say here that would possibly change my mind. So let's go ahead and go to Board Game Geek. I'm going to post somewhere over here what the Board Game Geek how many ratings there are in each, you know, from 10 to 1, how many people rated it, what score. I can tell you this, it's obviously very popular, but we're going to start with number one, the one-star reviews, and there's only one with a comment, so it makes this very easy. This guy says, like any fighting game, you need to put in a lot of time to get good at it. That's all he says. Well, I would agree. You do have to take some time to get good at it. I don't think it's just a lot of time, because the mechanics are simple. You're more guessing what your opponent's going to do. Some of the characters do take some time to master what their best, how to make them most efficient, but there are different levels of characters. Some are advanced, some are beginner, some are intermediate. So, I mean, you can choose the easier characters in order to make it a smooth start for you. So I don't think that's a big deal. And that's not really a reason to give it a 1. So I don't really know what to say there. In the 2s, there's only one comment there. Impressive design display, but this is just not my kind of game. Basically, rock, paper, scissors with about 5 minutes of AP per turn. I don't find that there's necessarily that much AP every turn. It could be, I guess. It depends on who you're playing with. And he agrees that there's an impressive design, and yes, there is. But he says it's basically rock, paper, scissors. That's not really true in my opinion, because, I mean, in the sense that you're both simultaneously choosing something, just like in rock, paper, scissors, and someone is probably going to win out. Yeah, I mean, it has that basic formula, but what makes BattleCon so much more than that, one, you have a lot more than just 3 things to choose from. And also, both people can actually attack each other, possibly. If you don't stun someone when you hit them, because they have stun guard or stun immunity, then they can attack back. So, I mean, it's not like this person trumped him, that's it, let's start the next round. No, sometimes, and that does happen sometimes, but other times, you both manage to get damage done and hits in. And there's movement and trying to get distanced for ranged attacks, getting up close for melee attacks. There's so much more going on here that affects the psychology. See, people like to throw this out there and say, oh, it's rock, paper, scissors. No, rock, paper, scissors is something that's you don't have any reason to think someone's going to pick any of the 3 unless you've played with them about 100 times and you realize they always start off with rock. Or if they fail with rock, they move to scissors next. I mean, that's what that is. That's not something where you really can know anything. But in here, there are times you can be pretty darn sure they're going to use their dash to try to dodge me because they probably don't have a really good move. Or you can anticipate, you know, this person's probably going to try to back up so that they can try to avoid one of my heavy hits, and then they'll try to use some weaker long-range attack just to you know, save themselves but also do some damage. There's all these things that you can anticipate that makes it way more strategic, and there's no luck involved, which is awesome. And for me, okay, now let's see. Let's go to the 3s. Probably not many comments here either, but we will see. I don't even know what that is. This guy just says 1 to 5 players, comma, reading. Don't know what his point is there. This guy, and okay, 3 stars, just again, this is 3 stars. He says, I was so profoundly disappointed by this game. It sounds just so cool. The idea of mixing moves with attacks to simulate a fighting video game, so full of content, tons of characters that all play different play modes. It sounds awesome. It's so overcomplicated, so overcomplicated. It's not even about it being hard to learn or anything. Just every action you take is painfully drawn out if you intend to actually strategize. For a game meant to simulate a fighter, one of the fastest paced of games, turns are blindingly slow, and the combat feels like it takes an age. The dearth of game modes and characters is offset by the fact many of them are so inferior as to be unplayable. The degree to which some characters are better than others is just a joke. This game broke my heart. I'd recommend against. Okay, obviously I pretty much disagree with everything he said. He says, first of all, that it's overcomplicated. I don't think so. I mean, he agrees that the basic mechanics are simple, but it's not nearly as complicated as he makes out. Usually, you reveal your cards, you see who goes first, and then you say, okay, I do this, boom, 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 damage. I mean, it doesn't take long. I hope to do maybe a playthrough of this with my cousin Jared at some point, and to show, more of the gameplay and everything. But, I mean, typically, how much time it takes to resolve an attack is not long, but that's not even what's so important. To me, how long that takes isn't as important as does it feel like the effects of the mechanics are simulating a fighting game, and they are. You have priority. You have stun guard, which is just like in fighting games. Some attacks, you can keep moving through even if someone hits you first. I mean, all those different things, and you can have moves that make you dash back or moves that make you advance forward. All those different mechanics are so exactly what happens in a 2D fighting game, at least a lot of them. So that's what's more important to me than how fast or the actual resolution of an actual attack, how long that takes. But that being said, I don't think it takes as long as this guy thinks. And he also says that some of the game modes are so inferior as to be unplayable. I don't agree with that. I mean, the solo is not just amazing, but it is fun. And if you want to scratch that itch, it's a good way to practice with different characters and play against, an AI, the board game itself. The different units and the setup and everything. I mean, to me, it was enjoyable. I'm not going to say it was great, but it was enjoyable. And he says some characters are better than others, so much better that it's a joke. I haven't come across that. I haven't played with every character, but I haven't come across with any that I thought were just horrible. I think this is another case of you need to learn. Like the other guy said, it can take a long time to master. Some characters do, and you need to learn all the characters to get an idea of how to use them. So I disagree with that too. Everything he said, I disagree with. The amount of variety in the different characters is huge. The production is also excellent. Thick cardboard standees, life counter dials, card holders to keep things separated, a nice glossy board, tons of tokens for the different characters. Then there's the gameplay. The first problem is the lack of any randomness. That's exactly why I do like it, because in a fighting game, 2D fighting game, there's no randomness. You hit your buttons to do whatever attack, they hit their buttons to do whatever attack, and something happens. There's no randomness. So I don't see how that's a problem. To me, that's part of the simulation. But he says this means that every turn you have to go through all of the options of what your opponent could possibly play before choosing your own cards. No, you don't. I don't ever do that, actually. You have those reference cards that you're supposed to give to your opponent. That way they can see what you can do. And they can, if they want to, they can look through your discard pile and say, okay, they have those cards not available in their hand, so I know they have all of these cards. And if you wanted to, you could really analyze that and go, okay, they could do this, they could do this, they could do this, but I never do. That's his choice if he wants to. I don't, and the reason why is, one, that would take forever, and two, you can really figure out the gist of anyone's possible moves without just analyzing every detail on that card. That's not worth doing. What's worth doing is going, wait a second, what's my best move? Quickly, you need to know, more important than the styles, you need to know what bases they have available, because the bases are the things that you have in common with each other. Do they have the dash available? Are they probably going to use that to try to dodge me? Or do they have their shot available so they can do a long-range attack? I mean, those are the things that you want to know and think about. But you don't need to analyze every single card to have a good, effective turn. So I totally disagree with that. He says, this can take several minutes and really slows down the game. Yeah, if you do that, but I don't. He says, I actually like looking at my hand of cards and trying to make my best possible moves. That part is quick and fun. But if you don't take the time to analyze your opponent's options, then they can usually just cancel out your best move in some way. It also seems like there can be some one-sided matchups. This, along with the number of fighters that have been updated for balance and possibly banned, makes it seem like not enough development has taken place. I want it now. That, again, I haven't played with all the characters, so there might be some that maybe aren't as balanced. I don't know, so I can't speak to that. But I've played with quite a few characters and I've enjoyed all of them and not found any problems. And the fact that he says that that sometimes you can cancel someone's best move. Yeah, a dash will cancel everyone's best move if they are able to get past you and cancel any chance of them hitting you. That's kind of the point. There's lots of ways to cancel things. That's actually the way it's fun, is the fact that there's no just surefire way to crush your opponent. Otherwise, it would not be fun. You don't want it to be where they can never cancel what you do and you just hit them every time. That would be miserable. I wanted to like it, but I just can't get into a game that is this slow and AP prone. Update. Oh, this company has now made a far better game called Exceed. Now, I have not played that, so I've seen it, but I haven't played it. He says, which is based on BattleCon, it actually addresses most of the problems I pointed out here. There is now a good amount of randomness. That's not good to me. AP is no longer as much of an issue, mainly because of the randomness, and the turns have been greatly streamlined. The card play has actually been improved over BattleCon because you now have an element of managing your cards as they have multiple uses in Exceed. Exceed really feels like the game they originally wanted to make, but they didn't quite know how to do it back then, so it just needed a few years of refinement. And I bet you it's the other way around. They wanted to make BattleCon. There were people who complained and whined about it. Very few, as you can see on Board Game Geek, based on how many people rated it what. But no, I'm sorry. The game is amazing just the way it is. It's just that some people apparently can't handle the fact that there's no randomness. Why would you want randomness in a fighting game simulation? I can't really understand. That takes away what the fighting game is like. No. I'm sorry. This guy says, this game stinks. No, I'm sorry. This game sucks all the fun out of a video combat game. It wasn't at all fun. No, it simulates it amazingly well. I'm sorry, I have to disagree. This guy says, I play tested a prototype of this back in 2010. It was lame back then, and the final product ended up just as bad. Well, he didn't say why, and again, I disagree fundamentally. And considering how few of y'all there are that don't like it, it makes me think that either, I don't know what it is. I don't know if what they don't like has something to do with a distaste for games where you can have 100% knowledge. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe people who want that element of luck that can help them out somehow, maybe that means so much to them that without it, it bothers them. I don't know. To me, that's what makes this game great, is the fact that there is no randomness. I don't know. I'm just guessing. And this guy says, this is the 4-star, by the way. If this actually was a 30 to 45 minute game, I may have a different opinion. However, my experience was closer to 1.5 hours per match. How in the world could you take that long? Each player, unless they have this AP problem where they're like, oh, let me look and see what all your options are, and that's just boring. I just would never play that way. You just need to know the basics and see, okay, they have range, they did it. But different people play different ways, so I'm not going to say it's wrong to do it that way. Each player has about 15 options to play on each turn. Each of those options match up differently with each of your opponent's options. This can lead to some amazing AP. I experienced analysis paralysis in this game, and that is very rare for me. I usually play very quickly. Had I played with the same opponent 30 to 40 times, this feeling may have changed, but no one I introduced the game to liked it enough to do that, especially when Summoner Wars is also an option. I have played Summoner Wars, only the tablet, the app version, but Summoner Wars is fun. I do like it, but it's not even remotely, even to me, in the same category as this, so I don't even know why I brought it up. Because, just for anyone who doesn't know, Summoner Wars, you have units and a leader in a grid-based combat where they're moving, you're moving, and you're trying to attack each other and beat each other's mage or summoner in the back. I don't see how that's even remotely similar. But whatever. Now, the guy says, the third and last level 99 game I will buy. I will say, level 99 gives you some bang for your buck with their games, but all of them suffer from the same issue: overcomplication for the sake of being overcomplicated. Argent the Consortium had this problem, and so does BattleCon. Now, Argent the Consortium, I don't own it, but I've been interested in owning it, and I have heard that it is very overcomplicated with so many options, and BattleCon has a lot of options, but to me, BattleCon, it's not really it's not overcomplicated. It just gives you more options of characters. I mean, really, you can just pull out a sleeve of a character apiece, throw it down, grab the tokens, bam, you go on a battle, and it doesn't last that long. I don't see how that's such a big deal. Super simple. The systems in these games are solid on paper, but playing a game, let alone teaching them, is arduous. Now, no, it's not. Playing BattleCon, teaching it is simple because the board itself gives you the flowchart of all the different things. The only thing you really have to teach is the basics of you're going to simultaneously play your 2 cards, and then you follow the flowchart, and then you have to teach them some of the what the words mean, terms mean, like stun guard, soak. But those basic terms, once you understand that, bam, super easy to play. Totally disagree with them there. I'm not even going to finish that paragraph because it's more the same. I understand making a fighting game through a board game is neat, but too many triggers. But I think maybe he meant TOO. He said TO, but too many triggers and start of, end of effects to even care for. No, I like that personally because it makes your attacks more variable. I removed Millennium Blades from my wish list for this same reason. I almost purchased Millennium Blades, but seeing as how I didn't like this, Argent the Consortium, and Pixel Tactics, which Pixel Tactics, another amazing game to me. Wow, I'm looking forward to reviewing it, but I'm kind of spoiling that. But Pixel Tactics I really enjoy. For everything I've got from level 99, I've really enjoyed. So me and him are obviously on totally different pages here, which, it just is what it is. But wow. Anyway, he says, but Pixel Tactics, which I ultimately sold all of them off, I doubt I will like any game Level 99 puts out. They have great artwork and components for their games, but all the games suffer from just too much added bloat and convulsion that is unnecessary. I like it. Level 99, you guys need to look up the word streamlining pronto. More in a box doesn't mean a better game. Just play Street Fighter for the sake of your sanity. It makes me angry because I really wanted to like this game based on its theme and artwork. Okay. See, to me, it's precisely because Level 99 puts so much variety and interesting stuff in the games that I've got from them that makes me excited and interested. They're giving me what I want. See, obviously, he's not their target audience of having a lot of options and things to choose from. I am their target audience. Jared is their target audience. We like all that variety. That way, you can try different characters. You can try adding the arenas if you want to. There's just so much you can do. To me, that makes it awesome. I mean, everyone agrees that the components are awesome, and they're right, for sure. But I guess some people just don't like. So far, it seems like the general consensus is for people who don't like it, either lack of randomness, too much analysis paralysis that makes the game take too long, or there's just too much stuff. Let's finish up the fours here. I'm sure there's a fun game for some people in here. This just wasn't my style of game. Okay, that's fair. If you just don't like it, you don't like it. Well-designed game, just not for me. Another one that I can just agree with. If you don't like it, it's just not your kind of thing, so be it. Would rather play Street Fighter and get the same fulfillment out of 5 minutes instead of 1 to 2 hours. Again, we don't ever have a game that lasts even close to that long. I mean, it's usually pretty darn quick. Whenever we're done, we're like, hey, let's play another one because it doesn't take that long for us. But again, it just depends on how much analysis paralysis you have. I'm going to just see a few to see if there's any fives that are worth mentioning, and then I'll go ahead and close here. Street Fighter in board game format. Very intriguing to play and try to predict your opponent's move. And yet he gave it a 5. Willing to try again with experienced players, but the early games didn't leave me much desire to push on with it. Perhaps some of the more complicated characters would make for an interesting game, but the set we learned with didn't seem to allow much possibility for interesting decisions or creative play. The concept of an arcade-style fighting game as a board game seems cool, though. Okay, it's interesting because this guy says there wasn't enough interesting choices and stuff available with these were the characters that he chose, versus the people who apparently thought there was just so many possibilities and analysis paralysis. Just goes to show you, different people, they're going to see it differently, and that's just the way it is. We're all different, just the way it is. This guy says, do not understand the hype. I'm sorry that you don't. This guy says, I'm very nervous here. I made a major purchase, and now I question if it will get played. We shall see. I might just sell it when it gets here if I can make a profit. Seems to break my tournament-style rule and is mostly 2-player only. Third, it's a lot of reading for the kids, although they are getting much better, so that may be a good thing. Kickstarter regret. Okay, well, I guess he just didn't realize that what he was getting into. I think I'm about done here. It's hard not to compare BattleCon to Yomi, which I've never played. Even though they're quite different mechanically, they recreate the same experience. But with all its polish, Yomi feels more like Street Fighter, while BattleCon is like Guilty Gear. Obviously I haven't played Yomi, so I don't know about that. But I will say that BattleCon does give me a certain Guilty Gear-esque feel. And I like Guilty Gear, so that's great for me. A weird mashup that's a bit rougher around the edges but easier to get into. Both are good designs. For me, Yomi is more fun with its heavier emphasis on combos and hand management, but others will disagree. To wit, there's no luck in Battlecon, although I think that simultaneous action selection often feels like luck, so there's not much practical difference. See, I disagree with that because to me, it's simultaneous action selection is about reading the other person's mind and trying to either bluff or counter bluff or whatever. To me, that's what makes that not luck based, and it makes it special because you're having this mind game going back and forth, trying to figure out, are they going to try to dodge my attack? Are they going to try to move in to try to hit me hard? And trying to anticipate that. Are they going to go for a really heavy hit? Or are they going to try to just slide off to the back to just do a little pew, 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 or maybe not even attack me at all, just try to get away from me? That makes it not luck because you know the other person is also trying to figure out what you're doing, and it's just a battle of wits to figure it out. That's how I feel. I have no idea how well balanced everything is because the sheer volume of content is staggering. I'm less fond of Level 99's more is better philosophy than fans are. I would prefer to have more attention paid to fewer options. More choice is not always a good thing. It means you'll spend a lot more time learning the game than playing it at a high level. Well, again, I think more content's great. You master a few characters, try and a few other characters. You can do however you want. You don't have to play all of them back to back to back. Just stick with some characters that you enjoy. Find some characters that you enjoy. Play with them. You get better with them until you're ready to try someone different. I just don't see it being a problem. But that being said, that is what Board Game Geek people who don't like it, that's what they say, that's what they think. You let me know in the comments. Do you agree, disagree with me, them, what, who, what, why, when, where? And I look forward to hearing from you. And I really appreciate you watching the video. Hopefully it was enjoyable and entertaining. And I look forward to seeing y'all on the next one. Take care, everybody.